Canada declares U.S. a national threat. New Prime Minister confronts American aggression. The political landscape between Canada and the United States has reached a boiling point. In a shocking turn of events, Canada's newly appointed Prime Minister Mark Carney has declared the U.S. an existential threat, accusing its southern neighbor of seeking control over Canadian resources, including oil and fresh water. This drastic shift follows years of economic tension and diplomatic strain, marking the end of Justin Trudeau's tenure in a dramatic and unprecedented fashion. But what does this mean for the future of Canada? Could we be witnessing the beginning of a geopolitical standoff? Stay with us as we uncover the details behind this escalating crisis. Mark Carney's rise to power signals a new era for Canada, one of defiance rather than compliance. Unlike his predecessor, Carney has made it clear that he views the United States not as an ally but as an adversary. In his first public address as Prime Minister, he dismissed any possibility of negotiations with Washington, calling Trump's administration a direct threat to Canadian sovereignty. "We are no longer willing to be bullied by our southern neighbor," Carney stated firmly. This hardline stance is a stark departure from Trudeau's diplomatic approach and sets the stage for an uncertain future. Economic retaliation has already begun. In response to U.S. tariffs on Canadian imports, Carney has introduced countermeasures designed to minimize damage to Canada's economy while maximizing the impact on American businesses. These policies could send shockwaves through multiple industries, further straining relations between the two nations. Economists warned that an all-out trade war could have devastating consequences for both countries, but Carney remains undeterred. "We will not allow the United States to exploit us any longer," he declared. Meanwhile, Trudeau's exit from office was anything but graceful. The former Prime Minister faced a wave of public hostility, with many Canadians openly celebrating his departure. Insults and jeers accompanied his final speech, reflecting widespread discontent over his handling of U.S.-Canada relations. Trudeau's critics argue that his conciliatory stance allowed American interests to dominate Canadian policies, leaving the country vulnerable to economic and political exploitation. In an effort to secure its independence, Canada is now actively seeking alternative trade partners. Carney's administration is prioritizing alliances with nations that respect Canada's sovereignty and economic stability. This strategic pivot aims to reduce reliance on the United States, signaling a major shift in North America's power dynamics. However, the feasibility of this plan remains uncertain, as the United States has historically been Canada's largest trading partner. The current tensions evoke memories of the War of 1812, when the United States attempted to invade Canada but was met with fierce resistance. Analysts suggest that Canada's historical resilience serves as a reminder that the nation has successfully defended its sovereignty before. The question now is whether it can do so again in the face of modern economic and political pressures. Adding fuel to the fire, former United States President Donald Trump has repeatedly made controversial remarks about Canada. He has gone as far as to suggest that Canada should become the 51st state, a statement that has been perceived by many as a direct threat to Canadian independence. These comments have only reinforced fears that the United States may seek to exert even greater control over its northern neighbor. Interestingly, Canada's reaction to U.S. policies contrasts sharply with that of Mexico. While Mexico has managed to maintain a relatively stable relationship with the United States, Canada has faced a more humiliating and turbulent dynamic. Many believe that Canada's previous leaders have been too accommodating, allowing American interests to dictate key policies. Carney's aggressive approach is a direct response to this perceived weakness. With tensions at an all-time high, experts warn that Canada must prepare for potential conflict, be it economic, political, or even military. The nation cannot afford to repeat past mistakes in its dealings with the U.S. The coming months will determine whether Carney's bold strategy will strengthen Canada's position or plunge it into deeper turmoil. As Canada braces for a new chapter in its history, the stakes have never been higher. With Mark Carney at the helm, the country is taking a stand against what it perceives as American aggression. The shift from diplomatic negotiations to economic retaliation marks a defining moment in U.S.-Canada relations. Whether this approach will ultimately benefit Canada remains to be seen. For decades, Canada has walked a fine line between cooperation and resistance when dealing with its southern neighbor. However, Carney's administration is making it clear that the era of passive diplomacy is over. By imposing trade restrictions, seeking new international partnerships, and refusing to bow to US pressure, Canada is asserting itself as an independent force on the global stage. But this newfound defiance comes with risks. Should economic tensions escalate further, both nations could suffer severe financial repercussions. The question remains, is Canada prepared to withstand the fallout? This situation serves as a crucial test for Canada's future. Will Carney's leadership successfully navigate the challenges ahead, or will his aggressive stance backfire, pushing Canada into a deeper crisis? Only time will tell. One thing is certain: history is being written in real time and the world is watching. Want to stay updated on this developing crisis? Subscribe now and turn on notifications to get the latest insights into Canada's geopolitical battle. What do you think about Carney's strategy? Drop a comment below and let's discuss. Don't forget to like and share this video to spread awareness about this crucial turning point in international relations.